Just like that, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA.
The WNBA just lost its biggest star, and they only have themselves to blame. Caitlin Clark is sidelined for at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. The first time she's missed a non-preseason game since her sophomore year in college. Clark has brought record-breaking attention, packed arenas, and millions of new fans to the league. And this is how the WNBA chose to protect their brightest star. If the league doesn't start treating its stars like the game changers they are, it risks losing way more than just a few games.
Caitlin Clark will miss at least the next 2 weeks with a left quad strain. The Fever are currently 2-2 on the year. Clark has started all 4 games so far and is averaging 19 points, 9.3 assists, and 6 boards per game. The Fever said more updates will be provided after doctors reevaluate her.
But here's what's really infuriating. This injury might trace back to quad tightness Caitlin Clark experienced in the preseason, something that was never properly addressed. Was she playing hurt this whole time? All while taking constant hits from overly aggressive defenders and getting zero protection from inconsistent, borderline corrupt officiating? The timing couldn't be worse, and make no mistake, the league is already in full-blown panic mode. Let's send Caitlin some love. Drop a get well soon CC in the comments below. She deserves better. And so do the fans.
Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight. Caitlin Clark's out 2 weeks.
Was Caitlin Clark playing on a damaged leg this entire time, while everyone looked the other way? The evidence is piling up, and it's absolutely maddening. During the May 24th game against the Liberty, something felt off from the very start. Her shots were falling short all game long, missing that explosive power we're used to seeing from her deep range attempts. But here's what should have set off alarm bells. Video footage caught Clark using a heat pack on her leg during the game. You don't need a medical degree to know that means she was already fighting through pain.
There is literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg. There is new footage of her heating up her quad when she's playing.
Coach Stephanie White admitted something shocking after the MRI results came back. She wasn't even sure when Caitlin Clark got hurt. Think about that. The team only found out something was seriously wrong after they got a message from Clark following the game. White said, "I'm glad that she did, because we need to nip this in the bud." What does that mean? It means Clark was hiding her pain, keeping quiet, pushing through the discomfort, all while the team and fans had no idea what she was really dealing with. This isn't just an injury story, it's about the pressure on stars to play through pain and the risks that come with it.
I'm at the game. Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out. She has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured. And ironically, that is probably the best case scenario. That is probably the best thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a bad thing. And trust me on this, it is probably the best case scenario that she's been actually playing through this and she was able to play through this fine.
Let's be real about what happened here. This wasn't some freak accident during the Liberty game. Clark missed the Fever's preseason opener because of left quad tightness. And now, she's dealing with another quad injury in the exact same leg. The team keeps insisting this new injury is separate from the preseason issue. But come on, when the same muscle group fails twice in one season, that's not a coincidence. That's a pattern.
Maybe this will be the wake-up call that the WNBA needs to clean up the officiating, to actually show that they appreciate this golden goose that has landed in their lap that goes by the name of Caitlin Clark. It's been so long where we've just seen this girl getting beat up in games, We see her get grabbed, hacked, bumped into, knocked on the floor. There's never any whistles from her.
Here's what makes this whole situation even more infuriating. Caitlin Clark has been getting hammered by physical play for 2 straight years, from her rookie season right up through the first few games this year. Defenders have been grabbing her, bumping her off screens, and throwing hard fouls with barely any consequences from the referees. Every game, she's absorbing contact that would get flagged immediately if it happened to anyone else. Targeting has been obvious, and yet the officials have done nothing to protect the league's biggest star.
What was that play? Oh my God, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack!
Coach Stephanie White hit the nail on the head when she said that great players hide their injuries. Clark felt the pressure to gut it out through every twinge and ache, believing she could power through, just like she always does. But this time, her body said enough. And here's the terrifying reality. She's been playing hurt while defenders are literally pounding her, fully aware that the refs won't step in to protect the league's biggest star.
The league is still resentful of her, it's still jealous of her, and it's still trying to put her in her place and give her nothing, make her earn something that she already earned last year when she put this league on the national map. For the first time ever, it was really, really and truly on the national map.
This injury wasn't just unfortunate. It was completely preventable. Proper rest after the preseason strain, stronger officiating to stop the constant targeting, medical staff paying attention to the warning signs. Any one of these could have stopped this disaster before it ever began. But instead, everyone looked the other way, while the league's brightest star's body slowly broke down. Now the WNBA is staring down its worst nightmare, and their frantic scramble shows just how much they rely on one player to carry the entire league. If they don't learn from this and change fast, this won't just be Caitlin Clark's injury, it'll be a sign that the future of the entire league is at risk.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television, is out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, more like 4 to 6 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, because remember, that's when she gets reevaluated. More like 4 to 6 weeks.
Within hours of the injury announcement, the WNBA's worst nightmare became reality. League executives who had been riding high on Clark's star power suddenly faced a terrifying new reality: empty arenas and plummeting ratings. The panic was immediate and obvious. Teams that had bet big on Clark's drawing power are now staring down the barrel of potential financial disaster. This isn't just a setback for one player, it's a crisis for the entire league.
And I'm already seeing people saying, I'm taking a break. I'm already seeing people say, I'll be back in a little bit. These numbers are gonna go down. The owners are going to walk into those negotiation rooms feeling themselves. Shout out to Beyonce. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my... Again, they're lucky this is only a rumored 2 to 4 weeks. Because if the news was the season, people would tune out 100%.
The Washington Mystics had already moved their upcoming game against the Fever to a bigger venue in Baltimore, banking on the massive crowds that follow Caitlin Clark wherever she goes. Now, they're dealing with refund requests from fans who bought tickets just to see the superstar in action. What's really embarrassing is having to explain to those disappointed fans that the only reason they upgraded the venue was because of one player. And now, she's not even going to be there.
There is one thing, no doubt, that's about to happen. The WNBA teams that move their games, this is about to be catastrophic for them. And it's kind of funny.
The Chicago Sky made an even bigger bet, moving their Fever matchup to the United Center, home of the Chicago Bulls. This massive arena upgrade was supposed to showcase the league's growth and soaring popularity. Instead, it's shaping up to be a potential disaster, with thousands of empty seats. Just imagine the optics: a nearly empty United Center during a nationally televised game. That's the kind of embarrassment that can set a league back years.
Yep, that's the Baltimore game. I believe that's about a 15,000 seat arena situation. This one's at the United Center in Chicago. Good luck getting anybody there. I mean, seriously.
Here's the thing that should terrify WNBA executives. Their entire revenue model depends on one 23-year-old player. The May matchup between the Fever and Sky set a new record as the most watched WNBA broadcast in ESPN's history, drawing 2.7 million viewers and peaking at $3.1 million. Those numbers didn't happen because people suddenly fell in love with the league. They happened because everyone wanted to watch Caitlin Clark. CBS Sports and other broadcasters are already bracing for a massive ratings drop. Advertisers who paid premium rates for Clark's games are probably having some very uncomfortable conversations with their media buyers right now. The league built its entire marketing strategy around one player, and now that player is hurt.
Will this be the wake-up call the WNBA needs? Caitlin Clark is out for at least 2 weeks. Now we are going to see what you guys, not just the Indiana Fever, we're going to see what type of numbers this league can churn over without her.
Attendance projections for upcoming Fever road games reveal a harsh reality. Without Caitlin Clark, these matchups go from must-see events back to typical WNBA games with modest crowds. Teams that were planning special promotions and expecting sellouts are now staring at half-empty arenas and disappointed fans. The WNBA just learned they built their house on sand, and now it's crumbling. After 26 years, they finally found their superstar, but their negligence in protecting her is costing them everything. Behind closed doors, a financial scramble is underway, exposing just how dependent the league has become on Clark's star power. But while executives panic over lost revenue, something far more disgusting is unfolding online as news of the injury spreads.
A lot of you are like, this is perfect. All right, because the WNBA accused the fandom and gave validity to some online trolls. All by the way, I wonder if the WNBA has given validity to some other online trolls.
While real basketball fans felt heartbroken, some corners of social media threw a sick celebration. The moment Caitlin Clark's injury was announced, a wave of disgusting posts erupted, especially from Angel Reese fans and Chicago Sky supporters. These people were actually celebrating that a 23-year-old player got hurt. Let that sink in for a second. The toxic reactions flooding social media revealed something rotten in women's basketball. Posts celebrating Clark's injury spread like wildfire across Twitter and Instagram, with users openly expressing joy that the league's biggest star was sidelined. Some fans admitted they were happy Clark wouldn't play against their favorite teams. Others made cruel jokes and even suggested she was faking the injury for attention. The sheer level of hatred aimed at one player was absolutely shocking and totally unacceptable.
There are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury. There are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury. And these are all people that are in the we don't hate Caitlin Clark, we just hate her fans crew. No, they don't. They hate Caitlin Clark. They say we hate her fans just so that they can have an excuse. They hate her. They hate her.
This toxic behavior connects directly to the season-long pattern of targeting Clark on the court. Players have been allowed to grab her, bump her off screens, and throw hard fouls, all without consequences. Officials looked the other way while defenders took cheap shots. Now, that same toxic mindset is spilling over online, where fans are celebrating the inevitable result of that targeting. You can draw a straight line from the dirty play on the court to the disgusting celebration online.
You have got people out here wishing ACL injuries on Caitlin Clark. You have got people out here celebrating. Like, if you look at the quote tweets of the Indiana Fever tweeting Caitlin Clark got injured, the amount of celebratory tweets you've seen, the amount of celebratory tweets, and like people like celebrating that she got hurt. And the only reason I have to say this is that side of the fan base people are being told that does not exist, that does not happen. And it's clear as day because it's public.
The WNBA's failure to protect Caitlin Clark enabled this poisonous environment to take root and flourish. When the league allows physical targeting without punishment, it sends a clear message. Clark is fair game. When fans see their favorite, players getting away with cheap shots, they feel justified in celebrating when those tactics finally pay off. Corrupt officiating created a culture where hurting Clark became not just tolerated, but acceptable.
You've got the media out here. Again, Elle Duncan has gone full on unhinged, it seems. Like, obviously, Caitlin Clark fans have called out some of her stuff, so now she's gone fully, it seems like she's fully gone anti-Caitlin Clark fans. She's gone and attacked them. She's gone on a tirade.
Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's complete failure to address the targeting of Caitlin Clark represents leadership at its worst. She never made strong public statements defending the league's biggest star. She never acknowledged the clear pattern of dirty play against Clark. Her silence gave everyone permission to treat Clark like a target, instead of protecting the player who's brought unprecedented attention to the league. The inconsistent foul. Calls throughout Clark's rookie season, which have continued into this year, tell the whole story. Players could grab her jersey, bump her off screens, and deliver hard contact with little to no consequences. Meanwhile, Clark was called for the smallest infractions. Referees created an environment where defenders knew they could get away with physical play against her. The league that allowed bullies to injure their golden goose deserves every consequence coming their way. The toxic fanbase celebrating this injury is a direct reflection of the culture the WNBA created through negligent officiating and weak leadership. Now, the Fever faced the daunting challenge of surviving crucial upcoming games without their superstar.
The difference is that one of them are called, one group are called the scum of the earth, and because of that one group, every single person that is a fan of Caitlin Clark is called by the media not too far off the scum of the earth. And one group is, according to the media, not real. This is not real. This did not happen. None of this is real. So that's just my opinion on this all. My opinion on all of this is that everything's wrong. All of this is wrong. Everything when it comes to the WNBA media is just crazy.
With their franchise player sidelined, the Fever face their biggest test yet.
With their franchise player sidelined, the Fever now face their biggest test yet. Their upcoming schedule includes tough matchups against Washington, Connecticut, and Chicago, teams they should be able to handle if Indiana executes properly. But here's the harsh reality. The Fever's offensive rating plummets from a solid 107.5 when Clark is on the court to a shocking 82.2 without her. That's not just a drop. That's falling off a cliff.
I think so. I think that's the advantage of our depth, right? And we, Sophie had injury early as well. I think it's the advantage of us, the depth that we added in the offseason, that we're equipped. Certainly we'd rather have it early than late. It's a great opportunity for our team to find an identity. It's a great opportunity for our team to play in a different way.
Coach Stephanie White knows exactly what needs to happen. She's already planning tactical shifts to spread the offensive load across multiple players. White said, "It's a great opportunity for our team to find an identity without Caitlin." Translation? The Fever need to prove they're more than just a one-woman show. The pressure is on. Everyone has to step up when it matters most.
And I also think it's a great opportunity for Caitlin to watch the game from the sideline and to grow in almost like a coaching kind of mindset and see some different things that we might be talking about on film, addressing in practice to see it develop in live action.
Aaliyah Boston becomes the focal point of Coach White's new strategy. Boston is averaging 18.5 points and 10.8 rebounds per game, but last season, 39% of her possessions came from post-ups. This year, that number dropped to just 18.3% as White emphasized Boston rolling to the basket in pick-and-roll sets with Clark. Now, without Clark running those plays, Boston needs to return to her bread and butter, dominating down low. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell is set for the biggest increase in responsibility. She'll take on primary playmaking duties while keeping up her scoring output. Mitchell has been the Fever's most consistent offensive weapon aside from Clark, and now she needs to prove she can carry the team when the spotlight shines brightest. The ball will be in her hands more than ever before.
I don't think we change how we play. I think we change what the emphasis is, right? Our off-ball actions as opposed to some of our on-ball actions. When we get to our on-ball actions, utilizing our personnel in a different way. You might not see as much of AB getting the ball on a dive and a pick and roll as you would in some of the other off-ball screening actions that get her to that point. Or where our shots come from. A lot of times with C and the ball in our hands, our shots are coming above the break. Right now, we might get the ball moving inline to inline when we're moving it side to side. So I don't think it changes how we play. I think it just changes the emphasis on the actions that we get to.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall now have their chance to step up and show what they're made of. Both have been solid contributors so far, but now they need to elevate their games to help fill the scoring void. The Fever also added veterans like Natasha Howard, Sydney Coulson, and Dana Bonner during the offseason, specifically for depth situations like this. Now it's time to see if that investment pays off. Coach White sees a silver lining in this disaster. She explained, "This gives Clark a great opportunity to watch the game from the sideline, to grow, almost like a coaching mindset, and see some different things we might be talking about on film." Clark will get to learn the game from a completely new perspective, while her body gets the rest it desperately needs.
There's so many things when you think about Caitlin and her not wanting to miss games. Obviously, she's a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play. But for me, it's maintaining perspective, right? It's making sure that we address this in a way that doesn't affect long term, that we take care of it. Don't over push, don't overexert, making sure that we take the long game approach to this, so that we're not having lingering issues throughout the course of the season. And I'm glad that, sometimes great players don't tell you when they're hurting. I'm glad that she did, because we need to nip this in the bud.
Coach White's approach is all about long-term thinking. She said, "It's making sure that we address this in a way that doesn't affect her long-term health. That we take care of it, don't overpush, don't overexert. Making sure we take the long game approach. This forced break might actually help Clark's development and prevent bigger issues down the road." The Fever's depth and coaching staff will be tested, but surviving these next few weeks could make them significantly stronger when their superstar returns. The WNBA created this mess through pure negligence and corrupt officiating, allowing dirty players to target their biggest star, while referees looked the other way. Now, they'll watch ratings crash and revenue disappear as empty arenas remind them what happens when you fail to protect your golden goose. But here's what gives me hope. Clark will come back stronger after proper rest, and seeing the game from a new perspective on the sideline. She's never missed a game before. So this forced break might actually be a turning point in her long-term development. When she returns, she'll be hungrier than ever. And the Fever will be battle-tested from surviving without her, making them a more complete team for the playoff push ahead. Let's all wish Caitlin a speedy recovery by commenting, "Get well soon, Caitlin Clark," down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out.